Well, where's the voice, Ann? Come on, where's the voice here this morning? Penny, you got a voice here this morning? How you doing, everybody? Hey, I'm Ann Eller. I'm here with Princess Penny, who has decided just to snooze right here. She goes, you never do anything I want. It's always boring, boring, boring. Well, not exactly. But anyways, that's what, from Penny's perspective, that's what she says. So, well, that's a deep subject, Ann. Interesting stuff in the news. So let's get started right away. Let me try a little tea here, see if I can find the voice here this morning. In the words of one famous big person, how sweet it is. Who knows who used to say that? Who knows who used to say on their TV show from Miami Beach, Florida, I'll help you out with that, who used to have something as he was standing there in front of a TV audience and say, how sweet it is. Anybody know? You know, I was thinking about an advertising campaign for a client, and I walked out of the meeting, and all of a sudden I said, oh my God, I have the perfect song. And you know what? It's because I've been around. If we'd asked a young person that, they would have looked at me and gone, what? So there are advantages to having, what was I saying? An old brain. And particularly living with Jeff Eller, you were constantly challenged to be able to come up with a better answer. So there you go. Anyways, if you know who used to have a teacup, I think it was almost like a teacup, and they'd say, how sweet it is. If you know the answer, I don't know, you might win something this morning. You might just win, how you doing? But anyways, I'd love to hear that. All right, I'm Ann Eller. If you know the answer to it, love to hear from you. Penny's right here. She is still promoting her... Oh, well, okay, this is the problem. Yeah, she's still promoting her card. Penny, for your thoughts. There she is, Penny. This is harder to do than you think, folks. There she is. No. All right, there. No. Okay, I give up. Let's do it this way. How about let's just do it this way? All right, can you see it now? It's a little, there you go. A penny for your thoughts for Princess Penny. All dressed and ready to go for the day in the picture. Over here, she's just saying, I just like being naked, Mom. All right, let's try to move forward here. What's the weather outside there, Ann? A little cloudy. I can tell you that. It's a little cloudy. And I got a couple of topics. Did you happen to see my interview? Did you happen to see my interview yesterday afternoon with Attorney General Alan Wilson? I don't know if you did get to see it or not. It was rather comical in the start. Turned out okay, but it was a little comical when it started. Right now it is 65, and guess what? It feels like 65 out here. We are headed for a high of 82 and a low tonight of 66. There's about a 53% chance of rain in the next hour. So we've got actually about a 30% chance of rain all day long. Thursday, we come in with a high of 79, low of 52. More rain expected. About an 80% chance on Thursday. Friday, we're down to 3%, partly cloudy skies, high of 74 and a low of 56. And Saturday, high of 79, low of 60, and about a 20% chance of rain, as well as on Sunday. However, the rain is going to come back in on Sunday, high of 80, low of 62, and about a 70% chance of rain. So that's a little bit about your forecast here. We are here today, Wednesday, cloudy this morning, showers during the afternoon, high of 82. Hope you can make a plan, and I hope your garden's growing because we're finally getting some weather that's going to make sure that our garden do grow. Our garden do grow. So, as we move forward here, let's talk about a few things. Yeah, that's about what I got to say about it. All right, I was talking about Alan Wilson called in yesterday afternoon. I was a little surprised. I was a little surprised about uh, he didn't seem to want to commit to an answer on can the legislature just pause a bill without having any other bill, or you're just going to work on another bill to replace the law that you don't like that you put on the books last year. He said, quote, I have my team of attorneys working on it. I have my team of attorneys working on it. So that was kind of non-committal, and particularly because for me, I had actually asked to have an answer on that. I mean, I guess he might have to have a team, but I would have thought they could have cranked that out. And after all, that's been a couple of weeks now since they've put that idea forth. And he also was not very committal on the idea of redistricting. And I think his big point was that South Carolina has been considered non-racial in their districting, even though we have a district that totally favors Jim Clyburn and has been staunchly Democratic forever. So he said he didn't seem to know. He didn't seem to know how it would work out. He didn't seem to know anything about that. But what he did want to talk about was his Wilson's waste removal. He has come up with that, and when I happen to mention that sounds kind of like Donald Trump in the trash truck, he says it is kind of along that line. However, he really thinks that we can reduce our waste in this state. I think there's probably not a state out there in the nation that couldn't reduce waste, and some of them have even a lot of fraud. So, yes. So I think that was basically what he really wanted to talk about. I had asked about these two questions, so I must say I was a little disappointed in the fact that he didn't give us a real answer. I am going to post some clips from that. One of our texters here says, this is concerning to me when they cannot commit to an answer. It almost seems like they want to be able to change their minds. Well, that's a politician for you. Of course they want to be able to change their minds, or their position might be for sale. I don't know about being for sale, but I think they want to be able to change their opinion as more comes to light. Maybe that's what they'd rather be able to do. You know, though, I think personally, if I were a politician, well, I'm not, I'd probably not be very good, because I would make a position and then have to come back and say, well, more information has come to light. I know more now. The problem is in this discussion, and this is, I know that all these candidates are running across the state trying to see as many people and this type of thing. But I would have appreciated if, and actually I spoke to him about that a week before, so it's actually been 2 weeks since I had just mentioned it to him. I really want to know, what is the law? And I can't really imagine that it can take that long to, particularly with all our AI tools, that it can't take that long to find the answer. So why not commit to it? Why not come out and be bold? We can be bold about our own campaign statements. It's just like I will tell you this yesterday. I am not being critical. I'm just pointing out things that were strong to me in the interview. When he in his Wilson's waste removal, he talks about absolutely, let me see if I can pull it up where it is. Where is it going to be? Right here. He said there would absolutely be no earmarks. Let's see, there is South Carolina state spending, local pet projects, veto earmarks. Alan Wilson will veto any state budget that has earmarks, and then it says no exceptions. Well, I think you need to go back and listen to the interview if you didn't get to see it yesterday, or watch it on Facebook. You can watch it and or listen. You can always put those things in the background. You don't have to watch anything. You can just listen. In fact, in the next, I guess, couple of weeks, we are going to be on iTunes and on Spotify with our interviews, our podcast interviews. So, but he says absolutely no earmarks. And then he says he has no problem with an earmark as long as it's done, and this is where the qualifier comes, as an item that is added into the budget with full transparency, instead of those earmarks that are added at the end of the budget during reconciliation. I don't know, if you're going to veto earmarks, I understand what he's saying, that so many times our politicians get things snuck in there. But why do you say absolutely no earmarks? So, I mean, that's just a couple of things, and I'm not trying to be too critical. I'm just trying to point it out that maybe things that you hadn't thought about that I think about. And I think about this stuff all the time. All right. Somebody just said, you would be an excellent politician because we would know exactly where you stand. Well, see, that's the problem. And that's probably why I wouldn't get elected, is because you'd know exactly where I stand. And I wouldn't have a large enough group supporting me. But you know what, in truth, I would not want to be a politician. Lion, you're very political. Well, yes, I am, but I would actually not want to be a politician. I prefer this job that I have been bestowed upon me as the voice of Greenwood, the person who can be critical of everybody. I can try to bring up the holes, but very rarely does anybody say, "Thank you, Ann, for your positions on me." But anyways, yes, I have no political aspirations. I have aspirations to bring you as much information as I can bring you from the vantage point that I sit from. So that was a little bit about the interview. He did talk a lot about that. As I said, I was slightly disappointed in I had just two questions. Normally I have a lot of questions, but his lawyers are working on it, on the whether a group of politicians can just pause a law, and where we are on the redistricting issue. I don't think redistricting will be coming up, but who knows what those crazy politicians will do down in Columbia. So there you go. That's a little bit about that. Anyways, let's talk about a couple other articles. Tomorrow morning, we do have the Lieutenant Governor, Pamela Evett, coming on the radio and on Facebook Live. And my question to you is, do you have any questions? I thought it was most interesting. Who put that out there? Okay, never mind. I thought it was most interesting where the governor is on the lieutenant governor and South Carolina state. I have to read this to you because here is a politician not really wanting to commit to anything. That's my personal opinion. Oh, let's see. Where is it? Here we go. All right. Governor McMaster weighs in, and it was a lightweight weigh-in. All right, here we go. What do we got? Come on up here. Governor McMaster weighs in on South Carolina State Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evitt controversy. Uh, Governor McMaster is weighing in on the controversy involving South Carolina State University and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evitt. You know the story. She was announced as South Carolina State's commencement speaker last week. Actually, even this article is wrong because she was not announced as the speaker. Supposedly, it leaked out, and then all the students got upset because she was going to, so they were peacefully protesting. All right, so it wasn't announced. I think, truthfully, if they had announced it, they would have had a lot different reaction, maybe not, than what they had done by letting it getting leaked out. And by the way, when you talk to somebody about this that should be on the know, they all say, well, it wasn't our office that leaked it out. Well, it wasn't our office that leaked it out. Okay, so who leaked it out? Okay. You may remember that Pamela Evitt said that in response to the students' protests, that she started calling the students a woke mob and saying that she would never bend the knee to radicals. South Carolina State President Alexander Conyers announced last Wednesday, a week ago, that Evitt would no longer be speaking at commencement, saying that the school decided to move in a different direction. I don't know how you actually do that. When you've invited and then uninvited, how do you say you're moving in a different direction? All right. And then a group of state lawmakers announced a push on Friday to cut funding for South Carolina State, a move that Evitt later backed. All right, so, and they got the timeline here. We don't care. We know about it. In remarks on Tuesday, McMaster called the controversy an unfortunate situation. Really? All right, an unfortunate situation. I wish it could have been avoided. I wish everyone could have had a happy graduation day, he said. I don't know about you, but either A, weigh in it with truth and vim and vigor, or in my opinion, don't weigh in at all. That's what I would say. But I wish it could have been avoided. This is his official statement. I wish it could have been avoided. I wish everyone could have had a happy graduation day, he said. He also said he didn't know if he would have referred to the students as a woke mob. I don't know if I would have used the words the students were using. I don't know if I would have used the words Colonel Conyers used, McMaster said. It's very difficult to judge what you would have done in a situation when all you know about the situation is the little bit of stuff you hear in the news. Now, Henry, that was a terrible answer. You supposedly have endorsed Pamela Evitt. And then to say you don't know what you would do? Come on now. I was a little shocked at that response. I would have thought if he was going to weigh in on this, that he would weigh in strong. After all, this is your girl. This is your candidate. But to say, what do you think about this? 864-332-9355. He really is a lame duck governor at this point, isn't he? I would have thought that he would have told everybody to get their together and let's quit fighting about the small stuff. Let's do something for the state or something like that. Instead, he just says he doesn't know whether he would have said this or he would have said that or he would have said this about that. And he wished everybody could have had a kumbaya moment. I don't know, Henry. Maybe that is governor-like. Maybe that's why I will never be the governor, because I think it was a rather weak answer. 864-332-9355. 864-332-9355. A lot of people weighing in on it, and that's what I'm saying. I think that either Henry should have made no comment at all, or have been a little stronger since he has endorsed Pam. And she is his lieutenant governor, regardless about her wanting to be the governor, she is his lieutenant governor. And I think that he really should have thought about it in if these things had been said to him, what he would have done in his situation. Because I think we all would have expected a Henry type answer to how it would be. So, 864-332-9355. I did think that that answer was a little odd. I just think we should call it odd. How about that? All right. What else did I have here to talk about? This is a huge story. This is a huge story. You know, we've been dipping our toes trying to figure out what we're going to do about medical marijuana in this state, right? Well, this is from the Post and Courier. Federal medical marijuana rescheduling could trigger obscure South Carolina medical marijuana law. See, you know, in the past, I've told people that because I had been told this, that we have a marijuana law on the books. And basically, I think it was actually started for children who had epilepsy. It did help on that. And there were ways that you had to go about getting the marijuana to help originally children, but I think it was expanded. But again, I want to just share this article with you. Okay, here we go. You know, Tom Davis is a senator in South Carolina Senate. He's been trying to get medical marijuana passed. He's probably running around doing the happy dance because every year he tries to do this, what happens? Every session, they always shoot him down. And sometimes they get a little closer and sometimes they not. And sometimes they... Politics at our South Carolina House and Senate are very strategic, I guess we could say the word. Now, when we watch it, we think it looks like a bunch of nuts, right? But it is very strategic. It's like taking up a bill right near the end of session and then having to send it over to either the House or the Senate. And you know they won't take it up. So you can pass it out. You can look to your constituents like, oh, I just did a lot of good stuff. But then nothing happens on it, and you can blame the other House or the Senate. All right. So this, of course, medical marijuana is where we have been on that. A decision by the Trump administration to reclassify medical marijuana to a Schedule III drug could trigger an obscure South Carolina law requiring state health officials to obtain the drug through whatever legal means necessary to stand up to a controlled substances therapeutic research program. This is the program, I believe, that was for epilepsy, and it was particularly towards children, but I think they also used it maybe for veterans some. But it was hard to get in the, quote, program. So it wasn't used very much. South Carolina has long had a lukewarm posture towards the legalization of marijuana. Recreational use remains outlawed. In recent years, however, efforts to start up programs for medicinal use have been largely unsuccessful amid state house efforts to prohibit other THC-infused products like drinks and gummies. What many don't realize, however, and see, I have said this for years with candidates who told me, you don't have any law like that. And I'd say, yeah, we do. What many don't realize, however, is that South Carolina already has a medical marijuana law, and the recent change in federal law might just have triggered it. On April 23rd, the U.S. Department of Justice and Drug Enforcement Administration ordered state-authorized medical cannabis products to be reclassified under federal law from Schedule I, a classification reserved for substances considered by the government to have high potential for abuse, to the less stringent Schedule III, which advocates say will eliminate legal ambiguities around state-level medical marijuana programs. While the state currently lacks a formal program, the decision appeared to have triggered language under the South Carolina Controlled Substances Therapeutic Research Act of 1980. which authorizes the state's health agencies to move cannabis in the list of controlled substances overseen by the agency under its Controlled Substances Therapeutic Research Program. So there you go. It also mandates the director of the Department of Public Health to obtain marijuana through whatever means he deems most appropriate, consistent with federal law. If I remember correctly, and I think I do, there are actually official government sites where entities, such as the South Carolina government, can buy marijuana. Did you know that? Well, there you go. Another useless piece of information, as Jeff would say. So there is places where they can buy legal marijuana. So you don't have to, the state of South Carolina doesn't have to go to somebody's backyard and say, hey, we really need some marijuana. Can we have a few stalks of it here? All right. It says to obtain marijuana through whatever means it deems most appropriate, consistent with federal law, for the purpose of medical research, which qualified patients to include cancer chemotherapy and radiology patients and glaucoma patients. DPH is aware of the proposed rescheduling of medical marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under the Controlled Substance Act. We are assessing the impacts to the state of South Carolina. Governor Henry McMaster's office, which did not offer comment on that, however, did offer comment on the woke mob comment. Okay. Which did not offer comment on the policy, confirmed state law would require South Carolina to make the change. According to law, if a substance is added, deleted, or rescheduled as a controlled substance. So, it will require the state to mirror the new federal order. Michelle LeClaire, McMaster's spokesperson, wrote in an email on April 24th. The legislature might have to act as well, but it's still up in smoke. No, it's still up in the air. Nobody at this point is sure what the changes will actually look like on the ground in South Carolina. So, I only bring this up because this is a very interesting turn of events. Tom Davis said, these gaps were precisely why the General Assembly must act immediately to fill the void. And his medical marijuana bill, which has already passed the Senate 2 separate times, was the way to do it. See, they control things by not getting it to the House in time for them to be able to act on it. So when a bill goes from the House to the Senate or the Senate to the House or the Senate can set up their own order, and that's why so many things that look like they're a possibility never happen, because it's a game. They set it up as a game to allow the bill to go over here and then never take it up. So he has hope. Tom Davis has hope. The South Carolina Compassionate Care Act, which passed the Senate on multiple occasions, provides exactly the model we need. Physician authorization on the front end, license cultivation and processing in the middle, and pharmacist dispensing on the back end. A patient-centered framework that protects patients, ensures product safety, and provides the regulatory clarity that both the public and the healthcare community deserve. It is a matter of debate how quickly lawmakers could move if they want to pass something. See, that's the other thing, how fast they want to pass something. The House of Representatives has long opposed Davis's bill, killing it on a technicality 4 years ago on the final day of session. This session, House members have shown significant opposition to efforts to regulate cannabis products already on the market, with many favoring bans. Unlike past legislative sessions, Davis did not file a medical marijuana bill this session because he knew they'd be taking up the THC, the cannabis, all of these things. So he was smart. He didn't bring it up. So, do you think anything's going to happen to it in this session? I vote probably not. Probably not. However, it is most interesting that an old law could actually be triggered because of a new thing, new regulation on the federal government. Anyways, I found that story interesting. Wanted to share that one with you. If you got a question or a comment here this morning, of course, you can weigh in on Facebook. Let's see. Let's see if anybody else is weighing in here this morning on Facebook. Nope. And how about over here on 864-332-9355? 864-332-9355. Yes, okay. Well, I don't think we can talk about that. All right, but I appreciate any and all comments that come in here this morning. So let's do a quick commercial break because I do have some new commercials and I want to make sure that you know about some of the things that are happening. Have you heard about the Mother's Day promotion at DQ? Well, this is, I think, a terrific idea, and what a memory maker this could be is to sign up at DQ, order a I think it's $15.99 for a 6-inch ice cream cake, and then you go to Dairy Queen on Sunday on Mother's Day, sign up for a time slot, and they provide you everything to be able to decorate the cake. Is that cool? I think it's very cool. Let's see. Here's what I put together for them. Take it away. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th. Want to make it a fun and delicious day? Let the kids decorate a 6-inch ice cream cake for just $15.99 at DQ on the bypass. Spots for this fun and memorable day are limited. So register today from their Facebook page, Dairy Queen-Greenwood SC. Create a memory and have a sweet treat too. Only at your Greenwood Dairy Queen.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
Step up to the plate with Greenwood American Legion Post 20, celebrating our 85th consecutive year of proud tradition. This season brings new energy with head coach Corby Long leading the way, building champions in baseball and softball on and off the field. From the diamond to the dugout, we're more than a team, we're family, and it's the best deal in town. Kids 12 and under are free. Join the tradition, bring the family, be part of Post 20's legacy today.
Don't miss the hottest deal of this summer.
Join in the month of May and get May, June, and July for half off.
That's right. 3 months of fitness, fun, and feeling your best at 50% off.
But don't wait. This deal is only for those who join in May. Miss it and it's gone.
Stop by today. Bring a friend and make this your strongest summer yet.
Join in May. Save big. Feel amazing. Your summer starts now.
There's no place like this place. There's no place like this place.
Your Greenwood YMCA.
I love that commercial. There's no place like this place. There's no place like this place. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? The Wizard of Oz, of course, the original one. Now, I mean, so, actually, don't those sound like munchkins? Yes. There's no place like this place. There's no place like this place. It really is. I'm just going to say this. As you get older, not that I'm old or anything, but as you get older, to think about some of the things that we all have experienced, and to then be here in this life, and then to have little things like pop up and you go, oh, I remember this, I remember that. Well, we are doing something with Chick-fil-A that I think is totally delightful. It's delicious. And it is going to be a fun promo where we work with Chick-fil-A to help get businesses a little something special. Simple, delicious, and always a little surprising. That's Chick-fil-A. What are we doing with Chick-fil-A? Well, we are doing something really special in our community. Simple, delicious, and always a little surprising. That's Chick-fil-A. We're calling them Chick-fil-A Community Moments. Just simple ways to recognize people, businesses, and groups that make a difference right here in the Lakelands. So, if you know a local business, a team or group that deserves a little appreciation, and who couldn't use that in these times, nominate them for a breakfast surprise. That's right. This is very, very cool. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun to see the different businesses that get recognized that maybe don't always get recognized. You know, there's so many of businesses who work behind the scenes, coordinate with those that are working out front. But the ones behind the scenes, they don't seem to get that much recognition. So we thought, Chick-fil-A thought, they would like to work with us to promote this fact that they want to recognize them. So all you have to do is call or text the WCRS radio at 864-332-9355 and share who you think would be a good group to have a breakfast surprise. Then Chick-fil-A, maybe sometimes with the cow, maybe not, will bring out a breakfast to the location that you look at. So you might just and then the person that nominates might just end up with something surprising and delightful from Chick-fil-A too. So this is your opportunity. All you got to do, call in or text in, tell me a business that would deserves it. And yes, you can nominate yourself your own business. So if you and a group of employees, if you guys work hard and you'd like to be recognized with a delightful and surprising breakfast, all you got to do is text or call 864-332-9355. And then one of our team, we're going to do it once every 2 weeks. So you can enter a business, you can enter a couple of businesses that you think don't get the recognition in Greenwood for what they do. You know, just think about there's all kinds of people that work behind the scenes making sure things are good. There's also the little businesses that maybe it's a nonprofit that works hard for our community. Maybe it's I don't know, Duke Power, CPW, Metro. Maybe there's a group in there that you think, you know, it would be really nice to send them out breakfast. And the nice thing is, you get the credit for saying, hey, I nominated you, and then Chick-fil-A will give you something delightful and surprising all in one bite. So, Chick-fil-A, you know you love it. You know you'd like to bless somebody with a nice little breakfast for a group. It's not just for one or two, it's for a group. I mean, there may be a limit. I mean, you know, that they are doing this. So I hope that you are going to take a little time and think about, wouldn't it be nice if we recognized this group or that group? 864-332-9355. Oh, well, that's a good one. There you go. I just got one. Thank you very much. So this is what the idea is. It's just something delightful and special, and try to make the people that work every day bringing you services, products, whatever, recognized with something a little surprising and delightful from Chick-fil-A. And in this promo, it's going to be breakfast. So we've already got one in here, 864-332-9355. Please make sure you let me know, and also give me your first name, because we've got to be able to get you your surprise if your group is recognized. So just very simple, not looking for a lot of details, just would like you to tell us who you think is deserving. So remember this. And I was thinking about this, and this is where I came with the old brain. You know, there's a song about old shoes. I think I've got that somewhere. Well, this is about old brains. An old brain can think about something, and all of a sudden a light bulb goes off. And you know that old line, something delightful, something delicious? That's exactly what all of this is about. Well, what are you talking about, Ann? It's actually from the Cole Porter song, The lovely, the lovely. I was singing that song coming back from a meeting from Chick-fil-A. I came in here, I put it on the computer. What's the name of that song? And all of a sudden, oh, Cole Porter, the lovely. All right. So if you would like, please do that. Start and do it. I think the first giveaway is going to be on May 21st. But don't wait. Don't wait. You know, I don't know if I talk to Chick-fil-A and we have a lot coming in. They may say, wow, Ann, let's go ahead and give away one now. So do it today. 864-332-9355. Opportunity to nominate a group to have breakfast and get something special for you too. What could be better than that but the delightful and surprising Chick-fil-A? All right, I'm Ann Eller. We got more to talk about here this morning, but don't forget to do that, please. All right, what else have we got? Oh, people are bringing. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. All right, what else have we got here that I wanted to talk about? I don't talk about this one. I've had this story for about a week sitting here and never got to it. But I think, well, no, first off, what do you think about Trump reviving the old test, physical fitness test that we had to take in school? Could you do 50 sit-ups? Oh, my God, I always struggled with that. I could do it, but, you know, pull-ups I was never good at. I have never had upper body strength. Well, he has really got these kids enthused about doing it. Yeah, just wait till they have to do it. Year after year will they be excited. And remember, you used to get the little certificate saying that you'd passed, that you'd completed this? You know, there is something to be said for accomplishment and with your peers, isn't there? So, well, thank you. I already got another one in here. This is great. This is great. Anyways, I just wanted to say, on this fitness test that the Trump is bringing back in, and they were doing it on the lawn there at the White House, getting these kids all enthused about being physically fit. You know, it just appears to me we have not challenged our youth. And the other thing I think we have not done, we've let it be okay to not get physical, to not go outside and play. And yeah, we can blame this on COVID. We can blame it on being worried about your kids, but you make adjustments so that they can have these experiences. That's my personal take on it. But yeah, I want all you kids to have to suffer like we did taking that physical fitness test. And if you weren't a jock, you had problems. I always had problems. And they'd say, come on, Ann, you can do it. And then I'd go, nah, one pull-up, I'm done. Never could do pull-ups very well. Or what was it? But I also thought it was very cool, and they've been talking about it, how you got a certificate, right? A certificate for completing the test. So anyways, that's I just wanted to talk about that. All right, Penny, what are you saying? What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Say hello to the folks here. You got anything to say? When are we going to eat? I know. That's sad, isn't it? Poor Penny. All right. What else have we got here this morning? I want to talk about this article. Then I am going to be done. We do have a great guest this afternoon, Dr. White, and one of the people that work there are going to be with us this afternoon from the wound clinic. You know, anytime you hear that somebody's going to the wound clinic, you know it's bad. Well, we're going to find out exactly what all of it means, how they are working this, how are they taking care of patients, and if you should have a need to go to the wound clinic, what you could expect. All right, so that's coming up at 5 o'clock today, and they are in studio. I anticipate no comic relief from trying to get somebody on the phone. I highly recommend you go back and watch that video from yesterday with Alan Wilson. If you don't care about listening to what he has to say, okay, I've pretty much summarized it for you. But the first part where I'm keeping us on the air and trying to get him on the air is pretty comical. This is for dementia patients. AI can be a good, non-judgmental listener. Cognitive exercises offered by a bot named Sunny paired with telehealth visits can be a physical therapy for the brain. Isn't this interesting when we've been talking about last week with Anthony Price and brain health? And by the way, enough of you have said we need brain health in Greenwood. I would be interested in it. That I think it'll be in June after the Festival of Flowers. We're going to sit down and have Anthony come back and talk about doing a brain health class on the radio and, of course, on Facebook Live. But this is about, this is the cognitive that a bot named Sunny paired with telehealth visits can be physical therapy for the brain. A health tech startup, New Days, developed an AI chatbot named Sunny to help people with dementia practice communication skills. New Days service combines telehealth visits with bot practice. A study found 7 of 9 patients showed cognitive improvement. And a clinical trial on which New Days therapy is based found participants had higher cognitive scores than the control group. So what do you think about that? Having, part of the problem with our lives is that none of us can slow down long enough to really affect each other. So I guess we're stuck, we can't seem to spend the time to help. We're all just too busy. So Frank Polson has dementia. This article is from the Wall Street Journal. Like many people with memory loss, he often feels self-conscious in social situations. It can be embarrassing, he says, when he loses his train of thought or when somebody reminds him he's already told a story. For 9 months, he has talked to an AI chatbot almost daily. He's well aware he's interacting with artificial intelligence, but he doesn't mind. It's an opportunity to communicate without feeling judged. New Days, a telehealth startup created by two former Google engineers, is betting that AI can empower people with dementia to seek out human contact and alleviate the isolation that often comes with and exacerbates cognitive decline. The startup's chatbot named Sunny helps people practice communication skills and do memory strengthening exercises. Isn't that great? Please see the chat box asks the person questions like, please make a sentence using a synonym for clean. And then this Polson man said, the rug was shampooed recently. Then Sunny goes, nice job. Shampooed is a clever way to show something was made clean. So it's interactive. It's an interactive. And, we use this with children all the time to learn and everything. Why wouldn't it be effective to use that for adults? Polson says the half-hour talks help him stay engaged. Otherwise, you're sitting around watching TV or reading a book. It's very real conversation, he says. Now 73 years old, he enjoys telling Sunny about his childhood in the 1950s. The mild cognitive impairment that Polson was diagnosed with in 2019 progressed to Alzheimer's disease. His wife, Cheryl, says she feels the disease has plateaued since he began using Sunny. His disposition is brighter after chats too. Mood makes a difference in cognitive function. When he seems stressed, I have him talk to Sunny and his mood improves. Yeah, I'm not going to deal with you. Go talk to Sunny. I like it. Anyways, New Days requires patients to have telehealth visits every 2 weeks with its staff of doctors. Then talk to Sunny via a website in between the appointments. During the telehealth visit, staff will instruct patients on cognitive exercises which they can practice with the bot. So what do you think about the idea of being able to have something as an aid, and it's totally natural? It's not drug-induced. It's not any of these things. It's actually doing old-fashioned conversation. New Days uses patient data to train its models and helps build the bot's memory about each patient's interests and progress. Kelly says for the model training purposes, any reference to a patient's identity is removed and that it's compliant with HIPAA. The service is available to people in California, Florida, New York, Texas, and Washington State, where New Day's team of neuropsychologists are licensed to practice. I think this is such a terrific idea. It goes right along with the idea of brain health. Everything that we're talking about is realizing that the brain is more important. But instead of just letting people keep devolving, why not give them something that challenges their brain and makes it a conversation, makes it fun? I wanted to share that one because I don't know if you'd heard about it, but it was in the Wall Street Art Journal a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I need to talk about this. One of the other things it says, this is a person is saying, she does exercises with Sunny in which she unscrambles sentences, puts the words in the right order. She also likes to talk to the bot about Ginger, her dog. So there are so many aspects on this to help keep the mind engaged and give it that opportunity where many of us just don't have the time to spend. And on top of that, talking to somebody with Alzheimer's, you can get pretty frustrated. The nice thing about the bot, it can just say, wrong answer, try again. I don't know. I'm just saying, I thought it was a terrific idea and another way that AI can help us stay fit. So, there you go. I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. I use ChatGPT to help find articles and this type of thing. And the other night I was working on something and I had sent something to somebody to see which idea they liked. And ChatGPT had given me 3 or 4 scenarios. So I turned it around on ChatGPT and I said, well, they gave me an answer. Which one do you think they like the best? And this is what it said. Let's see if I can get back to it really, really quick. Oh, a challenge. I love it. This is going to be fun. That was ChatGPT talking back to me. I know, it's a little weird. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. I got to finish up here today, but I do want to remind you, check out this new promo from Dairy Queen. I think it is going to be so much fun. I hope I can go by there and see people. Now, they're only doing it Sunday afternoon. I think it's between 2 and 4. You sign up for a 15-minute block. Yes, you can have more than one child decorating the cake. They will provide everything for the cake. So, for the decorating, you buy the $15.99, and then the kids get to decorate your cake 15 minutes. And if you have more than one child, they all can participate in decorating one cake. To sign up for this, you do have to sign up for it. Please make sure that you go to their Facebook page, Dairy Queen Greenwood SC, so that you can sign up on the calendar and reserve. They only have limited spots available on this. So it's not something you can do last minute and go, oh, let's go to Dairy Queen and decorate a cake. No, you've got to be intentional, I believe is the proper word. You've got to be intentional. You've got to have a plan. Dairy Queen's going to be ready for you and have all the things they could ever want to decorate. Let's play it one more time. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th. Want to make it a fun and delicious day? Let the kids decorate a 6-inch ice cream cake for just $15.99 at DQ on the bypass. Spots for this fun and memorable day are limited. So register today from their Facebook page, Dairy Queen-Greenwood SC. Create a memory and have a sweet treat too. Only at your Greenwood Dairy Queen.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
There you go. If you would like to do something fun with your children, your grandchildren, however you'd like to do it, please make sure that you are signing up at Dairy Queen. And don't forget that you gotta go ahead and tell me who you think deserves a breakfast surprise from Chick-fil-A. It is, delightful and something delicious and surprising. All you got to do, go to 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. We are excited to have so many comments coming in on our Facebook page. So thank you so much for watching and enjoying the show. Thank you again. This is WCRS right here in Greenwood. Don't forget, we'll be back at 5 o'clock this afternoon talking with Dr. White, and another person will be here from their staff to talk about all the things that it involves when you have to go to the wound clinic, what it all means, and how important it is to have those things taken care of. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. Penny says, go ahead and drop the curtain. Can we get out of here? Yes, Penny, we can get out of here. So that's going to do it for me. This is WCRS Radio. See you in a few hours. Bye-bye, everybody. Take it away. Do I have it? I do, right here. Take it away. Let's play.